You were recently diagnosed with mesothelioma, and you're wondering how you could bring a case now when you were exposed to asbestos many decades ago. Hi, I'm Joe Williams. I'm a mesothelioma trial attorney in New York City. And I'd like to give you some information about something called the statute of limitations as it relates to mesothelioma cases. And I'll tell you at the outset that each state has their own rules about statutes of limitations. And I can tell you that in New York, the time limit of when you can bring a lawsuit starts to run from the day that you're diagnosed. So that means at the time when you knew or you should have known that you had an asbestos-related disease, often it's the biopsy which definitively diagnoses mesothelioma, that the time to bring a lawsuit starts to run at that point. So what happens in every mesothelioma case is we have someone who's been diagnosed. Sometimes the patient, the client, is 70, 80, or 90 years old, and they were exposed to asbestos perhaps back in World War II, or 20, 30, 40 years ago. And there's a very long latency period from the time of exposure to the time of diagnosis with mesothelioma, and that's widely accepted in the medical and scientific community. So we're always journeying back, many times decades in time, to the time when those asbestos exposures took place in order to prove up those exposures and show the evidence of exposure to asbestos. But you still can bring a legal case, and certainly in New York, that time starts to run from the time of diagnosis. Now, these rules change from time to time, and I don't know at what point in time you're watching this video. So this information is current as the time of this video. But to get specific answers about the statute of limitations and how it could relate to your case, there's only one way to do that, and that's to call me. The number you see below is my office. My name is Joe Williams, and I invite you to give me a call, and we can talk about all of these nuances and facts as they relate to your case. We're here to help you and to give you information about your case. Thank you so much for listening.